favor isn't fair? Or is it because you're not being favored at this time? What's up, family? What's going on? Thursday, time to get a little sharp. Hope you're well. Hope all is going well with you. And let me just make sure I get my wife up in here. But y'all know how we do. It's another Thursday. Time to get a little sharp. What's going on? What's happening? Yes, always excited. Love my Thursdays. Love my Thursdays. So, but anyway, how? Let me make sure I got my wife here. She has been invited, so just wait for her to tune on in here. Yeah, there we go. All right, so she'll be tuning in here in a second. But family, man, I hope you're good. I hope you're doing good. I really do. I hope you're doing good, or at least just continue to push through and continue to grind and have a level of expectancy that it's going to get better. Just it's going to get better. So you just got to keep pushing, keep pushing. But man, I'm excited. Yes, I'm excited. And I'm excited because I'm also sitting by the water as well. Found another spot, babe. I found another spot.
Uh-oh.
So, so
Be careful.
yeah, actually I found a couple spots, but you're going to see them. But anyway, hey, it's Thursday. Got to get excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. It don't take much for me anyway. But look, so we're going to get into this, and we're going to touch on Genesis 47. But a couple of things before we get started. And first of all, I want to say thank y'all for hanging with me on last week. Uncustomarily, I had to rush off, and I felt rushed last week. I ain't like that. I really did not like that. But the situation was what it was. And so had to make it do what it do with that. And so, but God blessed anyhow, and I'm just thankful. But thank you for hanging with us and tuning in and continuing to support us and just, encourage us, right? And so I just want to say thank you for that. And just thanks for being understanding on last week. I felt rushed, and I ain't like it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I didn't like it because I like taking my time on Thursdays and just, going through God's word, and hopefully, something I said encourages you or something we say. Now, I shouldn't say I, because my wife also, she'll say something that encourages you, pushes you, challenges you, or whatever. But the goal is for you to be better than you already are, okay? And we have to do that with Christ as part of the equation. And so with Christ part of the equation, we probably giving you a little bit of encouragement or pushing you or something that we give you on Thursdays for this little small period of time, and others that come along or other moments that happen, all of that together making you better than what you already are. And that's my prayer, and that's what my hope is. And so I just want to say thank you. That's all I can say right now. Just thank you. But I thank you for understanding, but I didn't like that being rushed last week. I was so rushed last week that I forgot to do what we're supposed to do every week. What we supposed to do every week, babe?
Pray, plan, prepare, and proceed. Make it do.
That's at the end. What we supposed to do at the beginning?
Breathe.
We didn't breathe last week. That's probably the other reason why things ain't flow like I wanted to flow last week. I ain't breathed last week. So we're going to do it this week. All right? You ready? You ready, babe?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. Let's go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One more time. 1, 2, 3. All right. All right. Now I need one more favor. Let's do it one more time since I missed out on last week. I need one more deep breath, and also it's because this salt water, it smells good out here. Let's go. Let's go one more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. All right. All right. So here we go. Mac, what's up, big bro? Hope you're good, man. Look, I'm ready too. So we're gonna jump into this. As I started off, I said, favor ain't fair. Or is it because you're not being favored at this time? And so this today, we're going to touch on chapter 47 of Genesis. We almost at the end of Genesis. We really close to the end, okay? But chapter 47, I'm just going to touch on it today. We're not going to finish 47, but I got to reading the beginning of this, and I just got to thinking about us, and it started with me. And I really want us to use this as like a self-check or self-awareness day, okay? Use this as kind of self-awareness because, it's real easy for us to celebrate some folk when things are going good for them. But it's also easy for us not to celebrate folk when it's going good for them. And so sometimes people are favored and we don't understand why because of what we know. Okay? Our perspective. Here that word go again, babe. Perspective. That God has been dealing with me on that word perspective. And we're going to talk more about it at some point. But, I know my wife and I, we had some conversation about perspective in the airport the other day. And that word has still been churning. And so I don't know what's going to come from it, but something will come from it. But I even heard the word perspective in this today. And that is simply that, that perspective, that's just the way we see things, the way we view things, right? And sometimes we view it right. Sometimes we don't, right? Sometimes our view is very shallow. And sometimes it's pretty broad, okay? But that don't mean we hit the mark all the time just because our perspective is our perspective. That don't mean it's always right. Don't mean it's always wrong. Don't mean we always understand everything. And sometimes we may understand everything, right? But it's still our perspective. And so got to thinking about this right here, babe. Did you have anything you want to say real quick, babe? I'm sorry, because I'm good. I get to going.
Well, I meant tying that word perspective into what you're about to talk about. Favor isn't fair. Oftentimes we look at favor, or we look at the person that's being favored by God, and we look at them from our eyes, and we say, well, how are they being favored? Why are they getting the favor of God? They don't deserve it. We come up with a lot of reasons why we think they shouldn't be favored.
Right.
But from God's perspective, God feels that they should be favored,
Right.
so that's why they are being blessed from
Yeah.
God's perspective. God sees and knows more things than what we know.
Absolutely.
you know
Absolutely.
so there's
Absolutely.
definitely a difference in human perspective and God's perspective.
It's a big difference. Huge difference. We can't even measure how big of a difference that is, right? Because he knows the beginning all the way to the end, right? He knows all of that. And so that's the reason why I'm going to touch on Genesis 47 because, but I would say I'm just going to touch on it because we actually got to backtrack because I want to continue to use Jacob in this situation to talk about favor because in chapter 47 you see where Jacob and his sons finally make it to Goshen, okay, and then they meet up with Pharaoh and Pharaoh, they have conversation and everything, and then Pharaoh goes back to Joseph and tell Joseph, okay, your family is here, go ahead and settle them in the best land we have, like make sure they're good, set them up in a spot that's pretty good. I mean, not pretty good. It's like the best that they have outside of where Pharaoh was actually at, right? And so he made sure that they were set up, right? Now, you got to remember that Joseph's people was not the Canaanites or Jews, but the bottom line that they were separate. They were a separate group of people from the Egyptians, and their relationship. Not saying it was all bad, but there was some differences between the two that made them not be able to really totally coexist together, right? Or operate or do things together. So they all went on the same page. And so them coming to Egypt, being foreign people, foreign people, um, that all that played a part in this, right? So they get to Goshen and they are set up by an Egyptian. An Egyptian signs off on them getting the best. Okay, but if you go back, and this is why I wanted to touch on the favor, not being fair, because we are also talking about the same Jacob who made some mistakes himself, right? Now this is the same Jacob who was at birth. You remember Jacob is a twin. His twin brother is Esau. Esau was born first. What Jacob do? Grabbed at his heel. And then his mama named him Jacob because not only did he grab at his heel, but he was also, oh man, what's the word, babe? We talked about
Supplanter.
Supplanter. Thank you. He's a supplanter, which basically means he gonna take somebody's spot. He gonna take somebody's place, and he ain't necessarily earned it. Okay. All right. And so this is that Jacob we talking about. This the same Jacob that we talking about that decided to go somewhere, and God didn't call him to go. God didn't tell him to go here, but he went anyway. A place called Shechem, and as a result of him going there, his daughter ended up getting raped. Dinah. That same Jacob we talking about. The same Jacob that not only did he take his brother's birthright over a cup of soup or chowder, whatever you want to call it. It might have been some gumbo, I don't know. But anyway. But it's the same one that also took his brother's blessing. He stole his brother's blessing. He literally stole it with the help of his mama. That's the same Jacob. The same Jacob that we looked upon as, man, this guy is dirty. Ain't nothing good about him. No one too many chapters ago, we was looking at him like that. Then all that perspective began to change when he got to Laban. And so our perspective got to changing, and then he, had to work 20 years to get the lady of his dreams because he was duped by Laban, right? And so this the same Jacob that did some dirty stuff, but our perspective of him changed, right? But again, he did some stuff. Now let's go to his sons. His sons as well, they did some stuff, right? When Dinah got raped, they took matters in their own hand, right? They took matters in their own hand. They ain't consult with their father. They just, no, I'm going to get you. And what did they end up doing? They ended up killing all the men instead of going for the one guy who did what his name happened to be Shechem as well. His name was the same as the land that they were at. But the brothers decided we're going to set these guys up and cut all of them, killed all of them when they was at their weakest point. They took matters in their own hand, right? And the same brothers who also, hey, Dad, love you. But these the same brothers that also sold out Joseph. They plotted to kill him first. Then one of the brothers said, no, I can't do that. But they decided to sell him to the Egyptians as a slave, their own flesh and blood. Those brothers. And then one of those brothers also had a little run-in with a lady named Tamar, whom he tried to do something dirty and call it clean as well, because she was expecting, she know what the custom was when her husband passed away, that the brother was supposed to get it, and then he ended up passing away, and then it was supposed to be the youngest child or the youngest son that would also move into that position to be her husband. But Judah didn't do what the custom called to do, and he did wrong by way of Tamar, but Tamar got him back. She set him up. So these brothers ain't clean either. These the same brothers. And so why am I going back on all that is because, again, I want to give you some of it. I had to give you all of that so that you can understand favor ain't fair, because these same guys right here are now and understand what's going on in Egypt at this time. There's a severe famine going on. Like everybody's losing everything. Like it is destitute. Everybody is desperate. Like they done ran out of money desperate. So how am I gonna eat? And I don't even have no more money to even buy food. It's that bad. And these guys, all 70, if you read in the last chapter, it was 70 of them that moved with Jacob. So that was all of his family, and that's not even counting the livestock. It's just human beings, family beings. 70 of them. And all 70 of them moved to Goshen, which was the best outside of where Pharaoh was. So, baby, you got anything before I keep going? Or did I lose her? Yeah, I think I lost her. Okay. Well, anyway, because I can't see her on my screen for some reason. But anyway. Oh, got somebody called in while she was on there, and now you can't hear. But anyway, we're going to keep it moving. So chime in and type it in, babe, if you got something you want to say. But let me keep going. And so y'all know we do this live. We don't edit nothing. What you see is what you get. You getting it right as we doing it. So that's how we roll. We've been rolling like that. We ain't going to change. But look, but I had to give you all of that backdrop and understanding because I wanted to take my time on this so that you can understand that when it comes to favor, we all have done some stuff that we know we was wrong. We know we had no business doing it, and really, truth be told, had we really paid the penalty for it, we wouldn't be in the positions that we in today. And this is an example right here. These guys, Jacob and his sons, and I'm sure some more in there that we don't even know about that happened. You know, some stuff that's not in the Bible that happened in some of these people's lives that got the opportunity to move on to Goshen, to a better place than they already were. They moved from Canaan to Goshen. But also understanding that this was God's plan all along, because God did say that I will make you, well, it started with Abraham, and then it moved from Isaac, and then it moved on to Jacob, about making them a nation of many, right? A father, it started with Abraham, father of many nations, okay? And then he was going to bless his descendants. Well, guess who was his descendants? Isaac, Jacob, okay? And I can't even forget Esau. Esau was also blessed as well, okay? Even though what happened with him and Jacob, he still was blessed. He still had favor. And so here's the reality. All of us have had some favor. Every last one of us have been favored at some point of time. So when the favor doesn't go in your direction this time, don't talk about them. Don't point fingers at them. Don't hate on them. Your turn coming. Oh, you might have already had your turn this time. But I want us to check ourselves when it comes to that. I'm going to give you this example, and it's just all of y'all know me and my world of bowling. I love bowling. So I relate a lot of things to bowling. And I got another relation right here when it comes to bowling about favor, because, God has blessed me to be able to now compete on the professional level. And I understand the expectations of a professional. A professional, it's like you expect them to be perfect. You expect them to not make mistakes. Well, they do. Trust and believe. They make mistakes. And I promise you, if you go across all sports, even the best still make mistakes. They still mess up. And in bowling, a lot of times, and I've seen it not on just professional level, I've seen it on every level. I've been on both sides of this, where, it's coming down to the end of the match or the end of the game, and somebody throws a shot, and we know that shot was not good. But some way, somehow, all the pins fell, and they got, as we want to say, a lucky break. Okay. I don't deem it as lucky. It's just fortunate. That's that fortunate. Okay. But a lot of times in the bowling world, we will get an attitude, or we will suck our teeth, or some kind of an attitude about the fact that they got that break against us to win or to get over or to, come out ahead of us. Well, don't forget about the times where you was on the other side of that. Because I promise you, it has happened. It has happened to you where you got the break. You got the favor. So I want us to stop and think before we express our feelings about something not happening the way we think it should happen. No, favor ain't fair. But is it really? It is fair because we all have been favored in some way, shape, or form. You was favored when you was riding down the highway and didn't get in that accident. God put that hedge of protection around you so you can get to where you was going. Those dangers that we talk about, the dangers seen and unseen, those opportunities that you were afforded when you really didn't dot your I's and cross your T's, or you was afforded an opportunity that you had no idea was coming your way. You've been favored with your health. You've been favored with your finances. You've been favored for someone to come through for you at a time that you didn't realize that they would be. It was totally unexpected. Every last one of us could check those boxes. And I want us to take the time right now to start thinking about those and giving God thanks for what he's already done. The ways he's already made, the opportunities you've already been given. And some of us took those opportunities and ran with it. And then some of us blew them. Like we didn't really take full advantage of what God blessed us with because it didn't come packaged the way we thought it should be. Or it wasn't the right time. Forget the excuses. The bottom line is you have been favored. I have been favored. And just because it doesn't work in my favor this time doesn't mean that it won't next time. And I shall not forget of the favor he has already given me. So I want us to check ourselves. This is Self-Awareness Thursday. Let's just think about that and give God thanks for what he's already done. Because reality is, if he don't do nothing else, he's already done enough. But I know our prayer is that he continues to bless us. As long as we're breathing, that's a blessing within itself. But when he gives you opportunity, please remember, he gave it to you. Give him praise, run with it. Because sometimes that ain't gonna stay there for so long. You have one opportunity to take advantage of it. He's favoring you at that moment. Hear him, seek him, follow him. Okay? As I tell you, every week he got you. So pray, plan, prepare, proceed. Go make it do what it do. I'm gonna see you next week at 6:30. Love you.